Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning at the end of July. We're staring at August and a lot of different options that are out there. But before we jump into this segment, let's quickly take Mickey's call. Mickey's from Portland. Looks like he's got a question about spring Chinook. Mickey, what's going on?
Hi, Owen. I just wondered what you consider of the spring Chinook season this year. How many did you get?
So what my thoughts were on spring Chinook this past season?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my overall take was I did a lot better this year than I did last year. So on a selfish side, it was a much better year for spring Chinook for me personally. I would say if I were to dive deeper into it, I would be a little bit more amazed on how well the spring Chinook fishing in the lower Willamette has held out up until now, the end of July, for crying out loud. That's really the interesting part of the last handful of years is how late that fishery has been. There's no question. There was actually a discussion of this past week about the crossover fish down that lower river from the Columbia, milling around in that lower part of the Willamette, and that there's a crossover of fish being caught down there. But either way, that fishery is certainly held on. The main stem of the Willamette itself, though, we're going to get to fish counts here in a second. Total letdown. A guesstimate as far as the return size just being so short as opposed to what they had thought was going to happen, and yet keeping the river open is very interesting to me, especially as strange as they can be when you're talking about regulating fisheries. Not that we don't like opportunity, but it just seems like things should have been looked at a little bit tighter. The Columbia, I thought, was a really good season. Wasn't great by any means. It seemed like whenever I could get on the bank and start plunking, it was pretty simple. The trolling side of things struggled with that, but still got my fish, so I felt good about it. But overall, I'd give it a C+ when you're talking about the spring Chinook season.
Yeah. Well, I told you when I called in before that I've had MS for the last 33 years, so I don't fish anymore for sure. But I used to love to fish, and for salmon and steelhead both, and I live my life through your fishing.
Well, I hope you get the chance to get back out there. It's certainly better than some of the years, I can say that. Although that season's over with, we got something else to look forward to with the fall Chinook season, and still some great steelhead opportunities on the Columbia when things do come back around. But Mickey, thanks for your phone call, sir. I hope that answers your question at the very least. Okay, let's go ahead and show you fish counts. Not a lot going on here, especially when you're talking about the Willamette, unfortunately. We don't have the year-to-date in there, but it is in the 20s as far as what that total over, that's Bonneville Dam, excuse me. 281 that have gone over in the last couple of days. Not very good. Certainly, we're missing last day, which I think was in the 400s. Ryan, what the heck you got going on back there? But not too exciting. When you're taking a look at steelhead counts, again, year-to-date's in the 47s-ish. Makes for a great season. There's definitely been some very good steelhead fishing on the Columbia, below Bonneville in particular, and quite a good amount of steelhead have made it over. But it could always be better. Do we have the Willamette? I just wanted to show that if we could, if the year-to-dates are on there. If not, no worries. Okay. Oh, here you go. He went a different direction. We're just having some technical issues. Over here, 20,683 is what's made it over the falls. Not great by any means, well below what their forecast was. And it's a weird forecast for the Willamette, right? They give you a number of 50-some-odd thousand, whatever, they're going to cross into the Columbia River. It's interesting how they do those numbers, but at the very least, it's a far cry from where it should be. And when you're talking about the Bonneville Dam, if you come all the way over here, 43.7 with 1,700 that went over for steelhead, that's really obviously the bigger number that's going through right now. Summer Chinook, it is not great, but certainly worth getting out there when it opens back up. I know I'm excited about it. This is a time of year where you don't see those numbers going over Bonneville as very high, because those fish will come into the river and not go over Bonneville. So if you're like me, again, you spend time below, it can be interesting when things open up on the 1st. At least I'm looking forward to it. River levels quickly. Nothing, again, really to be too concerned with until things open on the Columbia. But if you're out there chasing steelhead around, it's all about tides. It's all about making sure that you have current. And as long as you can find that current, you can generally, and avoid the grass. At least I'm still getting that same report on the Columbia, that big clumps of grass are still coming down, and it will for a little while. You can see how tall those tides are. And tide, depending on where you're spending your time chasing anything, is a huge deal. Wherever that swing is for the incoming or the outgoing, if you can be there that hour or two before and after, that's about the time to be. When I was out on Thursday, I missed that. I don't know if everybody paid any attention on Thursday, though. They closed part of Marine Drive down. I wanted to launch over there at Gleason. I couldn't get there, so it cost me well over an hour to get onto the water, and I missed that tide change the way I wanted it. I did have one opportunity, though. I made sure to shake it right off, right? Get out of the rod holder and just get off there. Trust me, I didn't do it on purpose. Let's go ahead and send my buddy Jason an email. I think Ryan already showed you that. It's easy to do. If you want to win that prize pack, you can absolutely use that all over the place, especially going through the remainder of the year, because we're going to have a lot of salmon opportunities, Chinook opportunities, as well as silvers coming up here shortly. Again, staring at August. I'm excited about that. Obviously, I'm very excited about that. Hopefully this year, before I get my chance to head out and chase elk and deer around, might be able to get on that a little bit more than I typically do. Columbia River regs. Okay, we're going to try to go over this as best I can. So forgive me. They don't have it up behind me where I can actually see it with my old eyes. I can see it here. Buoy 10 upstream to Puget Island, right? Everything opens August 1st, which is Thursday coming up. The regulations down there and throughout the system is you can get two salmon, only one of which can be a fall Chinook, and you can get 2 hatchery silvers if you're that lucky to come across them. But as you work your way up river, you're going to have to pay attention to the days that are open from August 1st to the 31st. There are some areas that will close down based on location. So remember, take a look at these regs as Ryan is going through these, and you're going to see that there is a closure for steelhead. That starts to, I want to say it's the 1st. Let me see if I can find it on here. Anyway, this is why I always tell you, don't let the idiot on the other side of the TV screen get you in trouble, because there will be a closure. I want to say it's through, there you go, August 1 through the 31st. Steelhead is closed. So you just have to pay attention to all these regs, the locations. You can find it on the ODFW's website, right where Ryan is pulling this off as we speak. Go over all those, find the zone that you're going to be spending your time in, and make sure you pay attention. It's really one of those things, especially when we get into the season, that you need to look at it every other day or two if you're going to be spending a lot of time out there, because it could change at any given time, as all of you are well aware. No question that when we say you got to be an attorney of some kind in order to understand them all, it's no joke. I mean, it's just one of those things. And trust me, if you don't follow those regs and pay attention to them, they're just as happy to write that ticket out and go, whoops, sorry. Read the regs. Changes a lot, so pay attention. All right, let's check in with Katie Suniga, who's got a family outing coming up sometime soon to go out and do some trout fishing. I'm excited. I'm going to try to help out as much as I can this year, I promise. Okay. So you can be a little bit more successful out there. But we got some interesting weather changes coming up. We do. We have what we call a shortwave trough that's coming through, bringing us finally a chance for some showers, and the good kind, not the kind that come with thunderstorms. Right now at the coast, everything looks absolutely gorgeous with just a few clouds that we've had this morning, but it's mostly clear here. A few more clouds on the northern end of the coastal area. And by the time we get to about 5 o'clock, you'll notice just a few clouds here in Astoria, but the rest of the coast and most of the Portland metro areas all clear. A bit more cloudy to start your day tomorrow, but those clouds will mostly clear out. But if you look, you'll see some upslope cloud cover right here. This is where the stuff comes in, hits the Cascades, goes up, condenses, makes clouds, but no rain out of this. That doesn't come until Monday, right around 8 o'clock.
o'clock, showers at the Portland Metro, and then possibly through the day on Monday into Tuesday morning, meaning we have a chance for some rain and some accumulation. And yay, right? Just a little, maybe up to 1/10 of an inch or so on Monday, a little more on Tuesday morning, but that's about it. 7-day forecast shows us being a little cooler today, tomorrow, Monday as that trough drops through, and then we do start warming up a bit on Tuesday. That's another ridge. We're keeping an eye on this one because if it builds straight up over us, we would be more warm than this, and if it builds off to the east like it is right now, we could see those temperatures only topping out in the upper 80s, but a pretty mild start to the month of August.
To see a little bit of rain in the forecast. Is that a widespread rain, or is it kind of centralized to the northwest corner?
It's more northwest corner, not so much in the valley. Maybe a little could make it over the Cascades, which would be nice if we could get, to get those fires out, but not yet. It's still, summer.
Yep, it's still summer. It would be nice to see a couple of days of a deluge over on the east side to help out with that.
That would be wonderful.
Have a good day. We'll see you next Saturday. All right, everyone, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I've got my good friend Pete Bogle here in the studio, also the coach of my daughter's soccer team. We're going to talk about a way that you can save a little bit of dough when you head over to Fisherman's Marine, and at the same time, you can help young people get into the outdoors with giving them rods and reels so that they can go out and have some fun and stay away from those stupid machines. We'll be right back.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.